You're going to blame me because you made a bad business deal.
These are good deals, and we want to thank Google for the very constructive discussions that they have been having with stakeholders.
Thank you.
Facebook was wrong. Facebook's actions were heavy-handed and they will damage its reputation here in Australia.
Who are you?
We're the Australian government.
I mean, what do you do?
Australia, the Australian government makes laws for Australians.
What you just saw is a spoof video on the ongoing battle between big tech companies and the Australian government. But guess what? ABC, also known as the Australian Broadcast Channel, couldn't put this up on their Facebook page. Why, you ask? Because Facebook pulled the plug for news in Australia. As of now, publishers and users cannot post, access, or share any news stories in and about Australia on Facebook. If you try, you get this message. What forced Facebook to take such a drastic step in Australia? Why is Google signing deals with news publishers to pay them for their content? What's this new Australian news media bargain code about? Why do governments and media publishers want to rein in big tech? And most importantly, will this news media bargain code really help journalism or simply tilt the balance of power from big tech to big media? Let's find out. On February 17, the Australian Parliament passed a piece of legislation called the News Media Bargaining Code. Under the code, Facebook and Google are required to pay Australian news outlets for displaying their content. This code has been in development for 3 years. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, in its 18-month inquiry, found out an imbalance in power between big tech platforms like Facebook and Google and news outlets, and recommended a bargaining code that can level the playing field and remunerate news outlets for their content. Let's first address this imbalance. Google and Facebook command a dominating share in digital advertising. Over the last 1 decade, as products and services owned by big tech companies became a big part of our daily lives, their share of digital advertising revenue has climbed up. Across most markets and regions now, Facebook and Google account for more than 50% of the online ad revenue. Here's Facebook in Australia, for example, a whopping 62% share. Ads have been the biggest source of media revenue, be it print, digital, or broadcast. And as digital advertising surpassed traditional advertising, the growing share of big tech in the digital ad pie has hit news publishers right where it hurts. News outlets, though, have not always been upset. Big tech, and especially Facebook, was able to woo outlets as it bought traffic, and its algorithmic feed gave news content a prominence. But you see, Facebook wasn't trying to help news in particular. It needed content. It needed more content for network effect and to engage users. News provided that free, unlimited stream of content. As Facebook grew in size and scale, it changed its algorithm to have more engagement and, well, more ad revenue. These algorithmic changes did not particularly help news outlets. Remember how in 2014, everyone was talking about pivot to video? Well, that was largely pushed by platforms like Facebook and its plan to get into video to match up to competitors like YouTube. As the video tide subsided, news outlets that had rejigged their newsrooms to make more short videos laid off thousands of journalists. Or when Facebook adjusted its news feed to favor friends and family over news publishers. The point I'm making is this. Besides eating into the online ad revenue pool, big tech platforms changed, designed, and made new rules for online consumption that impacted the business of news deeply. News publishers followed suit because either the incentives were too lucrative in the form of traffic and clicks, or because they just weren't big enough to negotiate with big tech. This is the power imbalance that media publishers want to be addressed. And regulators and governments from across the world are taking notice. Now that we have talked about how we got here, let's understand what exactly does the Australian code say and what will it mean for the industry when it becomes a law. The code basically ensures that news outlets are remunerated for their content. It mandates a framework under which news outlets can bargain with Facebook and reach a binding agreement. That said, media companies are encouraged to make commercial deals outside the code. And 3 of the biggest media groups in Australia have already cracked a deal. News Corp and 7 West Media have signed a deal where they'll receive payments from Google for featuring in its news showcase. So can any Australian news publisher crack such a deal with Google and Facebook? Or does it apply to select news organizations? Well, that's where it gets interesting. For a news publisher to qualify for the code, it needs to have an annual revenue above 150,000 Australian dollars in the most recent year or in any 3 of the last 5 years. That, you see, directly limits the news outlets. Smaller, local or new media organizations which need more help than legacy or big publishers don't get any respite from the code. Which begs the question, how is it that the code that has phrases like protecting journalism and saving journalism is only helping big media outlets raking revenue in millions? Critics of the code say that the major force behind the code is Rupert Murdoch, an Australian-born billionaire media tycoon who owns News Corp, the group that owns Wall Street Journal, Fox News, and some of the largest Australian channels and newspapers that include The Australian, The Advertiser, and The Sky. Australia has one of the most concentrated media markets in the world, and Murdoch's empire owns and controls a vast majority of it. That media ownership earns Murdoch a considerable influence in the Australian politics. There's another reason why detractors of the code think it is antithetical to the idea of open web. The premise under which the code seeks payment is that they display and link news content. Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web, has weighed in. He wrote to the Australian Senate and argued that getting paid for displaying or linking content can set a dangerous precedent. You see, our ability to link to other sites on web is something that not only makes it better, but it is intrinsic to how it operates. Depending on who you read, the code can oscillate anywhere between a sham to fill the coffers of big media in Australia to getting news publishers their due from big tech. And there are some really good arguments on both sides. For example, the code can really just help big media and owners get richer with big tech money without having to spend any of it on news gathering or journalism. Why does the code not mandate how the big tech money should be spent? Or, on the other hand, why should Google and Facebook be seen as flag bearers of open web when all they really are just massive closed ad networks? You can't access YouTube ad inventory if you don't use Google's marketing software, for instance. Big tech and its impact on media is a complicated subject. There is no single quick fix. Certainly not regulations that are aimed more at tilting the balance of power back to big media than helping journalism. There are better thought out alternatives too, like a 1% tax on all big media companies that goes to a fund which directly invests in public interest journalism from across the world. What we should welcome the code for is the fact that finally both the government and the public are actively seeking to make big tech accountable and pay their fair share. Big tech and its excesses are under investigation across the world. Antitrust laws are messy and complicated. We will not get there at once. Antitrust experts have argued how often one regulation leads to another, and in most cases, a better one. Yes, a code meant to help journalism should not just tilt the balance in favor of the big media or do their betting. But the Australian code, for all its misgivings, has taken the first step of recognizing how big tech platforms have gained and manipulated the rules of publishing for their own good. And if anything, Facebook already seems to be in agreement with more regulation. Just the ones that suit them though. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I'll take it that you are interested in big tech and platforms. Like I mentioned, this is a messy topic. In the description below, you will find links to pieces from both sides of the fence. Linked below is also a piece that I wrote. It answers questions like why did Google cave in but not Facebook? How are countries other than Australia are tackling platforms' role in news media? And yes, unlike big media, News Laundry is not beholden to any platform. That's because readers like you fund us, not advertisers or reliance on big tech. Go to newslaundry.com, click on the subscribe button at the top right and subscribe. Pay to keep news free.